final alert from God. He is crying out your name because you're moments away from losing God's protection forever. This is not a dream. This is not an echo in the wind. This is not a passing whisper that fades with time. This is the voice of the Lord, calling your name with urgency, calling your heart back home before the final covering is lifted. The words you are reading now are not ordinary. They are a final alert from God. He is crying out for you because your soul stands on the very edge of eternal danger. You are moments away from stepping beyond the place where His divine protection surrounds you. You are moments away from leaving the shadow of His wings, where no harm could touch you and the enemy had no claim. You are moments from losing the safety that heaven gave you as a shield since the day you were born. God is crying out your name, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. He is crying out, not because He is angry, but because He is desperate to keep you close. He sees what you don't see. He sees the invisible battle that rages around you. He sees the traps set in silence, the darkness that inches closer, the compromise you almost made. And He sees how close you are to stepping out from under the protection that has kept your mind, your body, your soul, your life. This alert is not casual. This alert is final. This is not the time to delay, to drift, to scroll past the voice of the Almighty speaking directly to your heart. This is your moment to stop everything and hear the heart of your Father who refuses to let you go. If you believe God still has His hand on your life, comment, Amen. Let every word that follows now find a place deep in your soul. There's no more time for distractions, no more time to play with grace, no more time to sit on the edge of surrender but never take the step. The Lord has covered you in seasons where you didn't even acknowledge Him. He protected you through decisions that could have destroyed you. He sent angels when you didn't ask. He blocked the car crash. He turned the disease around. He restored the broken heart. He kept your mind from collapsing under the pressure. You didn't always see it, but His protection was around you like fire. That protection is not automatic. It is not endless if you keep walking away from Him. He's crying because He sees you walking too close to the edge. He sees the pull of the world tugging at your faith, your obedience, your love for Him. And now He is pleading. He is crying out your name in the Spirit, because if you lose His protection, you will be left open to battles you're not built to fight on your own. This is not punishment. This is reality. God does not force Himself on anyone. He covers those who stay in His presence. And you have been drifting further, even if nobody else knows. The secret coldness in your heart, the quiet compromises, the little justifications, He sees them. He knows the ache behind them. But still, He cries out because He would rather restore you than lose you. If this is reaching you right now, I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, like and stay with this video till the end, because your entire life is being marked by heaven right now. God is saying, come back while my arms are still open. Return while my mercy still covers you. Walk back into the light before darkness closes the door. You were never meant to live unprotected. You were never meant to walk uncovered. You were born for His presence, for His voice, for His peace. That's why every other thing you chase leaves you empty. That's why no relationship, no money, no fame, no escape fills that hollow space inside, because it was only ever meant to be filled with Him. The enemy has waited for this moment. He's been watching for the day your heart drifts just enough. He's patient in His destruction. He waits until you no longer recognize how far you've gone. He waits until you stop noticing the loss of conviction, the dullness in prayer, the shrinking voice of God inside you. But God sees it all, and God is not quiet anymore. He is crying out now because this is the moment where everything changes. He loves you too much to stay silent. He's sending this final alert not to condemn you, but to call you. Not to scare you, but to save you. Not to shame you, but to rescue you from a storm you don't even realize is right behind you. If you trust God to never give up on you, comment 1111. You don't have to earn His protection, but you do have to return to it. You do have to say yes again. You do have to surrender again. You do have to let go of what's pulling you away. Because every step you take outside of Him weakens the wall that holds back hell. You were never meant to walk alone. That's why the tears won't stop. That's why your peace is thin. That's why your strength runs out quickly. You were never designed to live without Him. He is your covering. He is your shelter. He is the one who stood between you and death when you were sleeping. He is the one who shielded your heart from breaking completely. He is the one who whispered truth when lies filled your ears. He is the one who lifted your head when shame told you to look down. That protection wasn't random. It was divine. It was holy. It was personal. And it can still surround you now, but not if you walk away. This final alert is heaven's alarm in your soul. You can't ignore it and survive. You can't silence it and find peace. You can't brush it off and expect the same favor to remain. God is not crying out because He's distant. He's crying out because He's so near. Because He loves you too deeply to stay silent. He's speaking into your spirit right now because He knows what's about to come if you don't turn around. And He wants to protect you not just physically but spiritually, emotionally, eternally. Do you know why? Everyone's whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual. A brainwave ritual leaked from the CIA is changing lives across the globe. Proven by neuroscience, this 7-second method helps regular people attract money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. He's calling your name in a way you've never felt before. The weight of it is not heaviness, it's holiness. It's love dressed in urgency. It's mercy cloaked in warning. This is not a threat. This is a lifeline. This is not fear. This is fire from heaven to wake your spirit up, to shake your heart back into alignment with your true home, His presence. There is still time. There is still grace. There is still protection. But you must come now. You must respond. You must hear Him while He's still speaking, because a moment will come where the voice quiets and the covering is lifted, not out of punishment, but because you chose the world over the shelter of His wings. But you don't have to go that way. Not now. Not when the Father is crying out with such tender force, wrapping His words around your soul, pleading with love that costs Him everything, that you would stay, that you would return, that you would remember who you are and whose you are. You were chosen, you were marked, you were called by name from your mother's womb. Heaven has fought for you all your life. God is not willing to lose you now, but the decision is yours. If you declare your trust in God's protection, comment 222. This is not just another word. This is a final cry from heaven wrapped in mercy. It is the sound of the Father reaching through everything to stop you before you step too far. His voice is still echoing your name in the unseen, and every second you spend in this moment is another second of His mercy holding the door open just a little longer. You haven't been forgotten, not for a moment. God has kept His eyes on you through every season, even the ones where you stopped looking for Him. He watched you carry burdens that almost broke you. He stood beside you through the betrayal, through the pain, through the silent nights when you cried into your pillow hoping someone would see. God saw. And he didn't just see, he kept covering you. Not because you earned it, but because his love for you is deeper than you've ever understood. If you feel the pull of his presence right now, comment 333. Your life was never meant to be lived without the light of his face over you. You may have drifted, but his protection never left until now. This is the moment when the spiritual realm is shifting. This is the moment when the silence between heaven and your soul is being broken with urgency. The Lord is still calling, but the space for your return is narrowing. He won't force you to stay. His protection has always followed your heart. And if your heart keeps walking away, the covering cannot follow where surrender does not exist. Do not take this lightly. Some people are given seasons of warning. Others are given a single moment. This is yours. You're still alive because he's held back things that should have reached you by now. You're still breathing because mercy built a wall around your life. But that wall only stands where God is welcomed. The longer you resist him, the more cracks begin to form. And when those cracks widen, what once was blocked begins to slip through. This is not about fear, this is about truth. And truth wrapped in love is what sets the captive free. It doesn't matter how far you've gone. It doesn't matter how long you've been silent. The voice of God still calls your name with the same tenderness as when you were first formed in the secret place. He hasn't changed his mind about you. He still sees you through the lens of redemption. He still longs for your voice in the quiet. He still waits to walk with you again. But your steps matter now more than ever, because you are standing at a threshold, and what happens next will be shaped by whether or not you return to the safety of his presence. There is a reason your spirit feels restless lately. There is a reason nothing feels like it's working the way it used to. When you begin to drift from God, the things that once brought comfort start to fail, because peace cannot be found outside of him. Joy cannot last where he is not Lord. And strength does not sustain where you are disconnected from the source. That is why this final alert matters so deeply. You're not just losing comfort. You are risking the very hand that shielded you from destruction. If you believe God is speaking directly to you right now, comment 555. He knows how tired you've become. He knows how tempting it is to shut everything out and go numb. He knows how the pain has made you believe maybe he isn't coming through this time. But he also knows the truth that you need to hear. He has never left. He has never looked away. And even now, he's fighting for your soul with the last warning, the last cry, the last call before the door begins to close. Not because he wants it closed, but because protection cannot live in rebellion. There is still time. That's why this message is reaching you. That's why God has interrupted your day. That's why the tears are rising and your chest feels heavy. Your soul is waking up, and it's time to say yes before silence replaces the sound of his cry. You don't have to clean yourself up. You don't have to fix it all right now. All you have to do is come back. Just return. Just say, God, I'm here again. Just whisper, I don't want to lose you. Just open the door of your heart again and let him cover you before the storm hits. The danger you are moments away from is not always visible, but the spirit realm is moving quickly. There are things coming that your heart is not prepared for without God's shield. That's why he is pleading. That's why heaven is pressing so hard in this moment. You are not just another person, you are his. You are the one he died for, the one he rose for, the one he weeps for when you turn away. You are the one his love will chase until the very last second. But when that second ends, he will honor your choice, even if it breaks his heart. Why is the government hiding this 7-second brain ritual from the public? A leaked CIA document just exposed a brain technique so powerful it's helping people cancel debt and call in wealth within days. Validated by 4 top neuroscience labs, this method is changing everything. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. He doesn't want to lose you. He didn't create you to be lost. He created you to walk with him, to dwell in his shelter, to be surrounded by glory, to be filled with peace that nothing can take. He created you to live under the shadow of the Almighty, where no weapon formed against you could prosper. But when you leave that place, the weapons begin to land, the arrows begin to pierce, and the wounds come quickly when God is no longer your covering. If you want to declare God as your shelter again, comment 1212. This is not to shame you, this is to save you. This is not about guilt, this is about grace. Still reaching for you with trembling hands, saying, "Come home now before it's too late." Your name is still written on his hands. Your tears are still seen in his eyes. Your heart is still wanted by the King of Kings. But you have to choose. You have to come. You have to return before your soul forgets what his voice sounds like. The angels are watching. The heavens are waiting. The Spirit is still moving, but time is closing. God is not speaking through this message by accident. This is your window. This is your moment. This is your chance to be held again, to be healed again, to be hidden again in the shelter that saved you more times than you'll ever know. You're not here by mistake. God knew exactly when to reach you. He knew exactly how to find your heart again. He knew exactly how to touch the deepest place in you that no one else could reach. That's the place he wants back. That's the place he is still fighting for. You are not abandoned. You are being rescued. But rescue requires surrender. It requires response. It requires you to say yes again, even when your heart feels too far gone. Because no place is too far when God calls your name. There is no more pretending that everything is fine while inside your spirit feels like it is slipping away. God has been patient, but his patience is not permission to remain distant. His silence in your wandering was not consent for you to stay away. It was mercy holding space for your return, but that space is thinning now, and heaven is drawing the line in the sand. You are not just hearing another moment of inspiration. You are standing on sacred ground, and the Spirit of God is surrounding you, not to condemn but to bring you back into the covering you were made for. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that maybe the pain you've walked through was too much to carry, and that God wasn't as close as he promised to be. Somewhere in the dark moments when your strength gave out, you started to believe the lie that maybe you weren't worth saving anymore. But let me speak this clearly into your soul. Your worth has never been up for negotiation. Your value has never decreased, even when your faith did. The price that was paid for you has not been refunded. Jesus did not climb up on that cross, wondering whether you would be worth it. He knew every storm you would face, every secret battle you would fight, every slip, every fall, every failure, and still he chose to take your place. You are still the one he loves beyond reason. If you believe God has not given up on you, comment 777. Even now, the enemy is whispering that it's too late, that you've gone too far, that you can't be restored again. But the devil is terrified of what will happen if you say yes to God again. He knows the covering of the Lord is not just a shield, it is a weapon against hell itself. He knows that when you return, you won't just be safe, you'll be powerful, you'll be a threat. That's why he's tried to wear you down. That's why he's attacked your confidence, your identity, your peace. Because he knows once you are back under God's covering, everything changes. The enemy can touch a wandering soul, but he trembles before one who is hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. You have felt the edge of that shadow before. You have known what it feels like to be surrounded by peace that doesn't make sense. You have heard his whisper in the middle of chaos. You have seen him move in your life in ways no human could explain. You know what his love feels like, and deep down you have never stopped craving it. That craving is not weakness, it is a holy longing, calling you back to your true home. God is not a place you visit. He is your dwelling. He is your hiding place. He is the only place where your heart finds rest. So many things have tried to pull you away. People walked out on you. Dreams collapsed. You trusted and were betrayed. You gave and were left empty. You prayed and didn't see the answer you expected, and slowly disappointment turned into distance. But hear this, with all the force of heaven behind it, God did not cause the pain, but he will redeem every single piece of it if you let him cover you again. What broke you will not be the end of you. What hurt you will not define you, and what chased you out of his presence can never outrun his love. If you believe God's love is greater than your past, comment 999. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are not cast aside. You are still being pursued with fire in his eyes and mercy in his hands. And this is the hour where he is asking you to stop running. Not because he's mad at you, but because your place has always been beside him. This world will never offer you the safety your soul is crying for. The arms of people will fail. The plans of man will fall. But the arms of God have never dropped you. Even when you ran, he walked behind you, guarding what he knew would one day return. Can 7 seconds really change your bank account overnight? A CIA-funded study just leaked, revealing a brain ritual that's flipping lives from broke to blessed. 4 neuroscience labs confirm it activates powerful wealth attraction brainwaves. People are now stepping into dream homes and luxury lifestyles. But this breakthrough won't stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. And now that return is here. This is the moment you say, I'm done trying to do this without him. I'm done pretending I'm fine without his voice. I'm done acting like my heart doesn't ache when I'm away from his presence. Because this ache, this emptiness, this weight that keeps pressing on your chest when the noise dies down, it's all a sign that you've been away from home too long. You weren't made for distance. You were made for nearness. The final alert isn't just a warning of danger. It is a cry of love so loud it shakes heaven. It is the sound of a father who still believes in who you truly are. It is the echo of grace, refusing to give up, even when you have. It is the call of God saying, I will take you back with open arms. I will restore what was lost. I will rebuild what was broken. I will fight what has been fighting you. But I need you to come now. I need you to return while my covering is still waiting. If you are choosing to come back to God's protection, comment 1010. The heavens rejoice over one heart that returns. The angels celebrate when a soul is rescued from darkness. Right now, you are surrounded by the love of a God who is not just hoping you'll say yes, he is pleading for it. Not because he needs anything from you, but because he knows what is ahead, and he wants you safe, he wants you whole, he wants you healed. You are not being scolded, you are being restored. You are not being pushed away. You are being pulled back into arms that never let go. The pain you've carried is about to be exchanged for peace. The guilt that has tormented your nights is about to be lifted. The fear that has stalked your mind is about to break under the weight of his presence. But only if you say yes. Only if you stop ignoring the voice that's been whispering in your soul. Only if you let go of the pride, the shame, the distraction, and surrender your heart again to the one who created it. This moment is not ordinary, it is sacred. The Lord has positioned everything in time to reach you now, because He knows what the enemy has planned for your tomorrow. And He will not let you face it uncovered. He will not let you fall if you return to Him. His arms are still open, but they will not remain open forever. This is the window. This is the hour. This is the final alert. And it's not just a message, it's a rescue. It's the Father crying from the heavens, not in anger, but in love, because He sees what's coming. And He wants you covered. He wants you safe. Not a casual invitation, but a final, holy summons from the Creator of the heavens, crying out your name with urgency and mercy before you step beyond the threshold of His protection. Not because He wants to scare you, but because He loves you enough to warn you. You are standing between two doors. One leads back into the covering of God's arms. The other leads into a world where you will be exposed to battles you were never meant to fight alone. These battles are not just emotional, not just mental, not just physical. These are spiritual storms meant to wear you down, blind your soul, and steal the very breath of your purpose. And God, in His endless love, is crying out to shield you, but He cannot cover what will not return. You must choose to come back while the door of mercy is still open. If you are choosing God's way over the world, comment 1515. So many times you brushed off that quiet voice. You buried the tug in your spirit beneath distractions, under the weight of busyness, behind the noise of others' opinions. But that voice never left you. That presence that visited you in the quiet of childhood, that lifted you in your darkest nights, that spoke softly when you were too broken to pray, it is still here. He is still here. God is not absent, even when your life feels like a storm. He has always been present, watching every moment, every tear, every stumble, and still holding the line of grace for you. This isn't about punishment. This is about protection. It's about the sacred boundary that God places over the lives of those who belong to Him. When you are under His covering, no weapon formed against you can prosper. When you are under His shelter, the plans of the enemy fall powerless at your feet. When you walk with Him, He goes before you, fights for you, and commands His angels concerning you. But when you begin to walk away, that shield becomes distant, not because He moved, but because your choices pulled you out of the place where protection could reach you. That's why this message carries weight, because heaven sees what you cannot. God knows what the enemy is planning. He sees the trap, He sees the ambush, He sees the sudden collapse waiting for you just around the corner if you continue outside His presence. But He also sees the future He wrote for you, the one filled with hope, the one written in His own blood, and He's calling you back to it before it's rewritten by your silence. You have not ruined your destiny. You have not lost your right to be covered. All it takes is a return. All it takes is a heart that says, I need you again. That's it. God isn't waiting for your perfection. He's waiting for your surrender. He's not asking you to fix it all. He's asking you to let Him in. And when you do, everything begins to change. If you feel God pulling you near again, comment 1717. Could this 7-second CIA brainwave trick be your fastest ticket to luxury? Recently leaked research shows a simple brain ritual that's allowing people to attract wealth effortlessly. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, this technique is transforming debt into abundance instantly. Homes, cars, and vacations are just the beginning. If you're seeing this now, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You were born to live under the shadow of his wings. You were created to dwell in the secret place where the world can't touch you, where lies can't break you, where fear cannot steal your joy. You were formed to hear his voice, to feel his hand, to know his presence like the air you breathe. That's why nothing else satisfies. That's why every other thing you chase leaves you hollow. Because your soul will never be at peace outside the covering of the one who made it.